And we're back with our 2024 lead with just over 6 weeks to go until Election Day. Georgia's state election board, which is controlled by Republicans of the MAGA variety, today passed new rules for the election. Among other things, the rules require counties to hand count ballots cast at polling places on Election Day. These new rules passed even though the election board repeatedly was warned this rule will make things worse, not better.
The idea that you're not going to listen to the individuals that are charged with conducting elections is absurd to me. For the board members that want to implement these rules, because they're most likely going to implement them because they have the numbers, I challenge you to go into any county in the state of Georgia and to do the rules that you're passing on today. Work as a poll worker all day and then count the ballots.
Fighting over Georgia's election rules is not the only cause for concern today. Threats to election workers are ramping up across the United States of America. Reporting from CNN and the Associated Press shows suspicious packages, such as the envelope we're showing you right now, were sent this week to election offices in 21 states. The FBI says they are investigating. With us now is the head of the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, Benjamin Hovland. He was appointed during the Trump administration and confirmed by unanimous consent in the U.S. Senate. The commission is independent, bipartisan, and helps both election officials and voters. Thanks so much for being with us. This is going to be a highly stressful 6 weeks, I imagine. Is it going to be the most highly stressful 6 weeks?
Well, 46 days till Election Day. Certainly a lot of challenges, as you mentioned there, but one of the things that's great about my job is I travel around the country. I work with election officials all across the country, and what I've seen for months, I mean, frankly, for years, election officials have been preparing for this moment. They've been doing the work to run the election, and now we are live. We've got ballots out. The overseas military citizens ballots go out. The deadline is tomorrow, and so all across the country we will have ballots live, and it is time to get ready to vote.
Democracy is a beautiful thing. Let's turn to what is happening in Georgia. These rule changes enacted just 6 weeks before Election Day. Do you think they are, as we heard that Democratic individual say just a second ago, do you think these new rules are likely to cause confusion and lawsuits, conspiracy theories? Where do you see it going?
I think those are all real risks. Certainly you never want to see changes to the procedures or election law right before an election. You never want to see that. But the other piece is, hand counting does take a very long time. It is very difficult. That's why we implemented equipment to do that. But it's also critical that that equipment is tested, it's certified, you do pre-election testing, you do post-election testing to verify that the equipment is counting things like it's supposed to. But when you're talking about millions of ballots and dozens of races on each of those, the ability for people to do that in an accurate way just doesn't match up.
There is time right now to talk about another rule change in Nebraska, which allocates its electoral college votes by congressional district, as does the state of Maine, the only two states that do this. This move, so you see the little splash of blue there, that's Omaha, which tends to lean Democratic even if the congressman there is a Republican. This move would make Nebraska's electoral vote winner a winner-take-all situation. It would eliminate the possibility of this one electoral vote possibly going to the Democrats. Is it fair to be talking about changing this rule so close to Election Day?
Again, I think that's really a politics question. Certainly each state legislature gets to make that decision, but with ballots being live, with ballots going out all over tomorrow, with people already early voting, I think it's very difficult to try to change the rules in the middle of an election. And certainly that isn't something that I think makes sense. And again, I think you can do that, but there's plenty of time after the election to have those conversations, to think through those policy changes, to reflect on whether or not that's the right thing for voters.
An early in-person voting started today in 3 states, Minnesota, South Dakota, Virginia. By mid-October, about a dozen more states will begin early voting. What do you expect this year?
I think it's going to be a busy election. I think we're going to see very high turnout. I think we're going to see Americans utilize mail voting. I think we're going to see them utilize early in person and Election Day. With 46 days, the first voter registration deadlines kick in at 30 days, so you still have time So Americans who are watching this should make sure they're registered to vote, make sure their registration is up to date at their current address. That's really the first step to participating this fall.
Is there a website they can go to?
Vote.gov is a great place to start. That will get you to your official state voter registration portal. Most states have an online voter registration option, but vote.gov will get you to the right place.
Vote.gov. Benjamin Hovland, thank you so much.